The City Council meeting for February 14th, 2023. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Perkins,
Here.
Councilmember Rubio,
Here.
Councilmember Veros,
Here.
Vice Mayor Strong,
Here.
and Mayor Hudson's not with us this evening.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to call for a motion to acknowledge Mayor Hudson's absence as excused due to his medical condition. This motion includes excusing the mayor's absences from the regular meeting of January 24th, the joint meeting with the Parks and Community Services Commission on January 25th, and the special council meetings held on January 30th and 31st.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, seeing none. Perkins move, Rubio second, and let's see, I'm not getting the,
Now it popped up. It was delayed a little.
there we go. Okay. Okay, motion is adopted. At this time, I'd like to ask Heidi Keniston Lee to come forward and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Heidi Keniston Lee is our chair of our Parks Commission. Thank you for doing that this evening. At this time, we'll move on to announcements. Do we have any changes to the agenda this evening?
There are no changes.
Okay. Move on to let's see, I guess we're going to move on to let's see, any other announcements? None. Okay. If you wish to speak under public comment or regarding an agenda, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room and submit it to the city clerk. If you're participating remotely, click the raise your hand button on your computer or *9 on your telephone to request to speak when public comment is being taken on an agenda item. For board, committee, and commission meetings, a complete list of upcoming meetings may be found on the city's website at www.sanramon.ca.gov. Subscription service is available at the link for automatic meeting notification. Contact the city clerk with questions at 925-973-2539. Okay, item 4. At this time, public comment is the public is permitted to address the city council on items that are on the consent calendar, including requests to pull an item from the consent calendar and the reason why you wish to pull the item or items. And please note that the decision to remove the item from the consent calendar is strictly at the discretion of the city council. You may also speak on requests for future agenda items or any special items under section 6 of tonight's agenda, although we have none. Items that are not on the agenda and are within the city council's jurisdiction. Okay, public comment is now open. Do we have anyone wishing to make public comment at this time?
Yes, Gary Chabin.
Okay, Gary, go ahead.
Good evening, Vice Mayor, council members, city staff.
Evening.
My name is Gary Chabin. Tonight, I want to share with you about an event that took place last Friday night. It was a good event. That's not a negative thing. The Tim Tebow Foundation puts on a Night to Shine event all over the world each year. The event is a prom for youth with special needs. It's a dance, a karaoke time, games, food, and celebration for their lives. In addition, the caregivers, parents are provided and a meal and entertainment that evening. This year, there were over 150 guests with special needs. There were over 200 caregivers of parents There were over 300 volunteers to put on this event. This event is funded by local churches, donations from businesses, and individuals that have huge hearts. There is no charge for the event or any of the activities. For the last 5 years, this has been held in Contra Costa County. San Ramon should be proud that one of their own is the coordinator of this event every year. Her name is Charissa Chavin. Yes, it's my daughter. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Where was that event held?
Held in Walnut Creek, the Presbyterian Church.
Okay,
And
thank you.
it just depends on where we can get it placed.
All right, any other members of the public wishing to speak?
Abhi Rahman.
Okay. Please, you'll have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Vice Mayor, City Council members, and city staff. My name is Abhilash Raman, and I volunteer for an organization called Conscious Planet. I would like to thank Council Member Sridhar for encouraging me to use this platform to spread some awareness about the soil crisis that we are undergoing right now. The UN last year estimated that we have about 80 to 100 harvests left globally, which is roughly 45 to 50 years of agriculture. Already in the US, over 50% of the agriculture soil has been completely deteriorated. And if we don't do anything about it, it is estimated that by 2050, 90% of the agriculture soil will completely deteriorate. What does this mean for us? 87% of all living species, including human beings, are dependent on the soil. To put things in perspective, if we continue to maintain the status quo, by 2050, we will be producing 40% lesser food than what we are producing today, while our global population is going to increase from 8 billion to 9.3 billion people. It's not just about the quantity, it's also about the quality. Over the last 100 years, the average mineral content in calcium, magnesium, and iron found in our produce in spinach, cabbage, lettuce, tomatoes, etc., have fallen by 80 to 90%. And this is clearly evident in the rising number of people with nutrition deficiency, vitamin deficiency, unable to cope up with COVID conditions because of compromised immunity, all leading to not an ideal way of living. But the good news is that the soil crisis is completely reversible, provided we work consciously towards increasing the organic matter in the soil to a minimum of 3 to 6%. Soil as a solution caters to 12 out of the 17 global sustainable goals that the UN has established. In addition to just human welfare and nutrition and fruit crisis, having rich soil will allow us to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions for somewhere between 25 to 35%. And it also helps us conserve water to up to 40%. So there are a lot of benefits. And so far, globally, we have not looked at soil as a solution. And it's very important that we all look for it. So I'm a part of a volunteering organization, and volunteers across 81 different countries are coming together to spread this awareness. And I'm using this opportunity to spread this here so that we can take some action. As a first step, we are requesting that we proclaim March 17th globally. This is a global movement, March 21st as Safe Soil Day. And I look forward for your support and help in making that happen. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Do we
Call
have
in,
any other members of the public?
call in user 1.
Okay, but before we take that, anyone else in the room here? Okay, seeing none. Okay, call in user 1, go ahead.
Okay, I'm timing myself right now. First of all, I want to say that I wish all the best for Mayor Hudson, and I hope for a quick recovery for him. And I also want to give out my best wishes to the Turkey earthquake victims, and I also pray for their government to be able to help the victims to quickly get back to normal. I also want to ask the council members to please remove Chair Bob Peoples from the Open Space Committee, as that he now has conflict of interest He was recently appointed to the advisory board of the East Bay Regional Parks. And I find that is a very serious conflict, and that I don't think that he can advise you guys as the chair on our open space without any bias or agenda. That won't, really, that will benefit us. I have asked the committee to remove him, and now I'm asking the city council to please remove him. I also would like you to please schedule a official meeting for the DB-GAD because you are the board members of that particular taxpayers community. We need to go over our finances. We don't know if you're managing our millions of reserve properly, and we haven't met for more than 6 months. So please kindly ask the staff to call a meeting. We would like to know if you are, laundering our money or anything like that. And also, please make sure policy executive clerk to print out an entire packet of physical agenda for attendees. She is the only clerk who doesn't do that. And she has been very disrespectful for a Taiwanese attendee. And I find that very racist. And also, please make sure our city doesn't show R-rated movie that has a lesbian woman having sex with a lesbian ghost, and then they help a maid to have abortion. That movie is now scheduled to be shown at the Doherty Valley High School Performing Art, which is a children's place. It's inappropriate to show that kind of movie, even in the name of it's a foreign film. And the district can't do anything about it because they have to share that space with you. So I'm coming here to beg you guys to please have some sort of guidance and make sure the staff doesn't show that kind of R-rated movie to our children. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Do we have any other speakers?
No.
Okay, do we have any written comments?
No written comments were received.
Okay, thank you. Well, we encourage your comments. Unfortunately, state law prevents the city council from discussing items that are not on their meeting agenda. They do take them very seriously, however, and if appropriate, staff will follow up on them. Okay, at this time, public comment is closed. We'll move on to the consent calendar, item 5. Can I get a
I
motion?
move the consent.
Say again?
I move the consent.
Okay.
I'll second.
Councilmember
It's not already pressed, so that's fine.
Rose, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I guess Councilmember Perkins is the mover. And Councilmember Rubio seconds. And by a 4-0 and 1 absent vote, motion passes. Okay, we'll move on to item 6, special presentations. We have none. Item 7, deferred consent items. We have none. We'll move on to city council appointments. We have none. So now we get to unfinished business. So this is on the public hearing number 2, introduction of ordinance, next in line, amending the city zoning map to rezone property located at 2481 Deerwood Drive from administrative office OA to high density residential RH and open space OS2 True Mark. And I will entertain a staff report by Lauren Barr, and then we'll proceed from there.
Thank you. Good evening. I have a brief presentation and then myself and the applicant's team will be available for questions. So the applicant submitted a development plan and related applications for a 61-unit townhome development on an existing 4.4 acre parcel at 2481 Deerwood Drive. The proposal includes the consideration of a general plan amendment from office to multifamily high density residential and open space, and then also a rezone to change the existing office use to residential and open space with administrative office and high density residential, as well as open space. Measure G It requires that the general plan amendments be adopted by a 4/5 supermajority of both city council and planning commission. And it requires 3 public hearings before each body. There's a series of staff report links in your staff report to prior meetings that were held. But on December 6, 2022, the Planning Commission adopted Resolution 1122 recommending City Council approval of the general plan rezone and adoption of the mitigated negative declaration prepared for the project under CEQA. On January 24th, 2023, the City Council held their first meeting under Measure G, and we provided an overview of the project at that meeting. And so tonight is the second hearing, and staff is requesting that the council introduce the ordinance, waive the reading and read by title only, open the public hearing to receive public testimony, close the public hearing, provide feedback on the proposed rezone general plan amendment and mitigated negative declaration, and then set February 28th, 2023 for additional public comment and ordinance adoption. And with that, that ends my report.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for that. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing, introduce the ordinance, waive the reading, read by title only, ordinance next in line, approving rezone application RZ 2022-001, amending the city zoning map to rezone property located at 2481 Deerwood Drive, APN 208-640-003 from Administrative Office OA to High Density Residential RH and Open Space 2 OS 2. Looks like we've got a motion and a second, and voting is complete. Motion is adopted. 4-0 with 1 absent. And so we now have the public hearing. Do we have any speakers for the public hearing?
Sean Reese.
Okay. Sean, go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Sean Reese. I'm a field representative from the NorCal Carpenters Union Local 152. I'm here to talk to you about providing area standards for labor on the future project coming to 2481 Deerwood Drive. Area standard labor language needs to be the template that developers use in the great city of San Ramon and on this project. I would like to express to you that without these standards, the construction force is systematically abused through wage theft, 1099 where workers have no workers' comp when injured on the job, and a litany of safety violations. Healthcare and a livable wage are a vital necessity to the workers building these projects. Apprenticeship programs ensure the projects are built to the highest degree, and local hire ensures not only tax revenue from money spent by the workers, but ensure those workers can enjoy the basic things in life, like spending evenings with their families, maybe attending their child's Little League games, or going to a dance recital instead of sitting in traffic for 2 hours. The housing crisis in the Bay Area is a very real issue. The only way to mitigate the problem is by building more housing, but we shouldn't take advantage of the workforce helping us solve the crisis. And those same workers should be able to afford to live in the communities they are building. The language that should become the policy here on this project would support responsible contractors that are already doing the right thing by their clients, employees, and the city itself. These responsible contractors have proven time after time that they can perform to the highest standards. These policies would bolster San Ramon's working class and cultivate a responsible market for good contractors. This would create a minimum standard for developers that are coming into Concord, telling them that you value your citizens that build on our land. I would love to have a real and valuable conversation with each and every one of you, as well as the developers, on how we can cultivate a prosperous construction industry here in San Ramon. And I look forward to talking about this more with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Do we have any other members that would like to speak?
Timo Aguilar.
Okay, please address the council. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, council members. My name is Demo Aguilar. My trade in the Carpenters Union is a concrete form worker. I've been a UBC member just over 5 years. Construction apprenticeship programs have the resources and ability to lift our neighbors out of poverty and into a comfortable middle-class lifestyle without drawing on the taxpayers. I was personally brought into the apprenticeship program through the Helmets to Hard Hats program. And not only were my training fees taken care of, I was also able to collect my GI Bill while going through the program. I know what it's like to spend years paying off student loans and debt from college. I went through the entire program without owing a dime and was even able to purchase my first home when I was only a third period apprentice, where there's 8 periods. I was able to purchase my home within a comfortable commuting distance to my work. To be able to create a viable pool of skilled carpenters within the community is one of the main missions of the Carpenters Union. We in the Carpenters Union also have excellent healthcare, where sadly so many workers have none. These workers have to rely on mainly social programs and overly taxed emergency rooms. When my son was injured while playing varsity football, he had torn a ligament in his hand and lost motor functions of his finger. My son had the medical coverage to repair his hand and bring him back to 100% functionality through top-notch physical therapy. Thank you for allowing me to share my personal experiences and just a small part of what the Carpenters Union can do for our communities. Thank you.
And thank you for your service to our country. What service, by the way?
Navy and Army.
All right.
Wow, there you
Well,
go.
there you go. Navy and Army.
Navy and Army.
All right, very good. All right, other speakers.
Call in user 1.
Call on user 1. Go ahead, please. 3 minutes.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm timing myself. Okay, I would like to speak on the fact that we are building more and more affordable housing is not really a blessing, because these affordable housings are dictated by legislators such as Gavin Newsom, who he and his wife are actually legislating to benefit themselves. His wife has a nonprofit, for example, that is really dictating the mental illness agenda. And now they're also, spearheading all these housing developments. Not that I'm against development, but they are basically telling the builders how to build these housing in the name of climate agenda. For example, the concrete they use have to come from the ones that use green energy. So how do we know that those concrete will stand up to the test of earthquakes? God forbid we would have one like the one in Turkey. And if you had seen any footage, it is really frightening watching all those tall towers of floors just dropping on you in the middle of night. I don't know how, we are really, it just seems like we are bending over to the state legislators whenever they tell us to build more under CEQA, under RENA. We just keep allowing them without asking them. I also noticed that in the past meeting I have been to, where our engineers have disclosed to you at the policy meeting, policy committee meeting, that the standards for the engineers are also changing because of the green agenda. I'm really concerned. I don't know what you guys have, planned ahead. Should there be a disaster around this area, how you're going to, help them out? Do we have search and rescue teams like, those ones that we're seeing on TV, or are we just gonna sit around and wait for FEMA to arrive a few days later? I don't know, but I really hope that we will really think ahead for good times and for bad times, so we are prepared either way. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other speakers?
No.
Okay, thank you. Then I'll close public comment.
No, you have to take a
Oh,
motion.
I'm sorry, we have to take a motion to,
I move we close public comment.
okay, moved by,
Oh, look at that, Sridhar.
Councilmember Rose, beat you to it. All right, seconded Perkins. And we'll vote to close public hearing. That passes 4-0 with one absent. So at this time, it's before the council for, and I at this point, if you have any clarifying questions, I want to kind of go back to that. I kind of skipped over that. So if you can include any clarifying questions along with any comments before we move forward. Any council members with clarifying questions?
No.
Okay, any comments?
Nope, this is interesting project. It's got housing already on 3 sides and we're gonna have open space and then Crow Canyon Road on the 4th side. So as infill projects go, this is possibly the best we've seen and certainly in a long time. And glad to see it move forward and hope TrueMark can make this happen quickly.
And also, I would like to look forward for the design. I know this call is only for about rezoning, but as I see, it's a townhomes, right? So hopefully it will be affordable for the community.
Sure.
Councilmember Rubio, any comments?
No, I mean, I would just echo what Councilmember Vero said, just, sort of having a close lens on that as well, just some affordability as well, so that we are more inclusive in San Ramon in that capacity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I really don't have any additional, you have another comment?
No, it's gonna.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I think we had a pretty good public hearing last time. Appreciated the public comments this evening during the public hearing. We're going to have another one, and I know we had one concern at the last meeting about kind of the water and drainage and things like that. Has that been adequately resolved? Or at least looked into tentatively?
I'm not sure I can speak to whether it's been resolved, but I can speak to what has happened since. I did provide the HOA representative a copy of the hydraulic calculations for a runoff, and the proposed condition versus the existing condition is a fraction of the runoff. And so the difference is fundamentally a parking lot and office building that was not subject to stormwater detention requirements. And then you have a new project, which is a residential project that has detention basins as well as percolation and treatment. And so again, the water does not run off as quickly. It percolates in, there's more surface flow. And so at this point, unless the HOA has additional concerns, I think we've addressed it, but I'm open to talking with them more should they have more questions.
Is the detention basin part of the open space or is it part of the?
It's actually in the project.
It's in the project. Okay.
Yeah. No, the open space area is not graded for detention or anything. There are existing storm lines though that go through that area down to the creek.
They're below the surface level?
Yes.
Okay. But the open space itself has its own percolation and absorption characteristics.
And habitat. So, yeah.
Okay.
So is we
No, go ahead.
so are you going to continue the conversation with HOA?
I offered up to speak with them more. I haven't heard back yet. So if they reach out to me, I'm happy to talk with them. We're going to have another hearing before this group as well as another hearing with the planning commission. So if there are still concerns, we'll have the opportunity to work through.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that update. All right, any other discussion? Okay, then I'd like to get a
So we need to
motion.
to introduce the ordinance, waive the reading, read by title only, and set February 28th for additional public comment and ordinance adoption.
Is that your motion?
Well, that's Redar's motion.
Oh, my gosh, you guys are really quick tonight.
Okay,
Okay.
I guess I'll vote then, huh? There we go.
Okay, we've got a motion, a second, and we've got a vote 4-0 with one absent. Motion passes. Okay, thank you. So we've set the next meeting, public hearing for February 28th, as well as the ordinance adoption. All right, on to new business. I have no new business, and On to item 11, interim city manager and city council members' comments.
Thank you,
Sure,
Vice
City
Mayor
Manager.
and members of the council. I have a lot of storm information for you tonight, so I'll try and go through this
Good.
as quickly as possible. As you know, or may be aware, FEMA has approved the Contra Costa County individual assistance for residents affected by the storm. What that means is residents and businesses can apply for assistance at www.disasterassistance.gov or call 1-800-621-3362. Once you have registered, there will be information sent to you on the next steps and available programs. If you would like in-person help for any storm-related damage, FEMA opened up 2 disaster recovery centers, one in Dublin and one in Danville. So this is for in-person assistance with storm damage applications, application status, and any other support or resources that you may need. You can visit these sites in person. The Dublin location is at the Alameda County Public Works Building at 4825 Gleason Drive, and they'll be open daily from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. through Friday, February 24th. And then the Danville location is at 510 Lagonda Way, and that opens tomorrow, February 15th for 2 weeks through Wednesday, March 1st. And that's also open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. These details will all be on the City of San Ramon website. From the homepage, you can look under what's new, and then the item called FEMA Storm Disaster Assistance for residents and businesses. And as the council may recall, at our last meeting, we had residents from Sunny Glen speak during public comment. We were able to hold a community meeting with the Sunny Glen residents last Thursday. Vice Mayor Armstrong was in attendance along with 7 staff and about a combined 10 staff members from FEMA, Cal OES, and the Small Business Administration. Staff provided information on the hydrology of the area, the maintenance activities, and also the permit application process. We had about 60 to 70 residents attend, so it was very well attended for about 2 hours. We had a lot of great questions from the residents, and they also provided us with info about where the flooding occurred that we will be sure to follow up with. FEMA, Cal OES, and SBA also presented, and they had staff on site at the end of the meeting to apply with to assist with applications in person in the back with laptops. So that was a great help. And then the last item I'd like to update the council on is the status of the Bishop Ranch Chevron Park application. Right now, we have large boards with the initial concepts for review outside in the City Hall Rotunda. The same early concepts are also available digitally on the city website. If you visit the homepage, scroll down to the Hot Topics section and click on Bishop Ranch Chevron Park, you can view all of the documents related to the project, or you could visit sanramon.ca.gov/BR Chevron. Once again, this will be a clearinghouse website for any and all information throughout all steps of the process and the project, where you can review agenda packets, meeting recordings, frequently asked questions, renderings. Everything that we have will be up on that website, and we will be updating it as the meetings continue. And with that, that ends my update.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you also to you and the staff for being there the other night at the town hall meeting with the Sunny Glen residents. I think that was a very informative session. I think we learned a lot from the residents, and hopefully they learned a lot also. I know of some residents who were affected who've already received payment from FEMA, so that's good news. And I think that location that's going to open up tomorrow in Danville, I think that's their old city hall building that will be the disaster recovery center. But the one that's a little bit closer for our residents is the one in Dublin. Okay. Start over here to my right. Do you have any comments?
No. No.
Okay. Let me come over to Councilmember Rose.
So this is on city manager comments?
This,
or-
well, no, this is city manager and city council.
Yes, number 11.
Comments, number 11.
Okay, we are on 11. Okay, just to make sure. Oh, yeah. So thanks to staff for working with Sunny Glen residents, and also just to make sure that we can share this information across any other residents. Hopefully we can reach out to them through social media. I think I saw even in Daniel San Ramon news about this, the help that they can get through the FEMA. Thank you very much for reaching out to the media on that. And on my public comments, so we had fun on Super Bowl, even though the team that I wanted to win didn't win, but I had fun. That's pretty much my comments.
Okay, Councilmember Perkins.
Yeah, I sit on the Tri-Valley Transportation Council. I sit on their finance committee, and we met the other day. We were just going over our proposed budget for the following year. But I just wanted to report that we have a $22 million balance that will be dispersed over the next couple of years for projects in the Tri-Valley area. So Tri-Valley Transportation Council, we collect impact fees from residential development, commercial, retail, and other kinds of developments for projects. We don't finance programs such as bus routes and things like that, but we financed many years ago. We helped finance the ramp that goes southbound 680 to eastbound 580, and the interstate or 580 84 interchange, and the expansion of lanes between Crow Canyon Road and Sycamore were partially financed by TVTC. So we will continue to finance projects over the next 10 years to the tune of about $100 million. Also attended the Library Foundation, and they're doing quite well. They had a very successful year in their jazz concerts, and they're looking forward to another successful year in jazz concerts, as well as book sales, both from their those racks that are kind of an honor system, as well as through their staff. So please support our Library Foundation. They help finance. They put $20,000 last year into materials and programs that are run by the librarians there. So worthwhile programs there.
Okay, all right, thank you. From terms of my activities, I, along with Councilmember Rubio and Councilmember Perkins, attended the Contra Costa Mayor's Conference in Walnut Creek. The main agenda topic there was talk about the Delta Tunnel Project, which all 5 of the counties that touch the Delta are currently in opposition of at the county level. Also attended a lunch and a meeting with mayors and city managers. We talked about an upcoming dinner on the 22nd of February, hosted by the city of San Ramon, as well as got legislative updates and other business aspects of that meeting. Attended the Senior Advisory Committee meeting over at the Senior Center. The main topics there was to talk about the Senior Express van and the Senior Recognition Program, and then listen to report outs from committee members who had done visits to local senior housing and reported back on some of their observations. Also attended yesterday the Open Space Advisory Committee meeting. And the primary discussion there was on the 2022 annual report draft, which will probably be coming before City Council in the April or May timeframe as part of their annual report to us. In terms of community events, since our last regular City Council meeting, a lot of things going on. A lot of it's Cub Scout and Boy Scout related. But we also had the crab feed on the 28th over at the community center. Very well attended, very successful, put on by the San Ramon Historic Foundation. Went to the Marshall Tucker Band concert on the 29th at the Doherty Valley Performing Arts Center. Let's see, another event with Scouts of Pinewood Derby over at Walt Disney Elementary School. There was a good event. Councilmember Rubio and I went to the Bay Valley Chinese School Lunar New Year celebration. They had a last minute change from Pine Valley Middle School over to Gale Ranch Middle School. Just some fantastic performances and great music and dance. Let's see. And as mentioned, we had the Sunny Glen Town Hall meeting. I was very pleased with the turnout there and the staff and our federal and state and county partner participation with that. So, and last week also hosted another three scouting events in the last couple of weeks, but I hosted a Cub Scout Pack 201 here in the council chambers and had some Q&A and took some pictures and some great discussions with some very lively and energetic young Cub Scouts. And with that, those are the end of my comments.
I actually had something.
Thought
I
of
just
something.
realized.
Great. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to mention, today I actually attended earlier today, our congressman, our new congressman, Mark DeSaulnier, was at the Diablo Valley College in San Ramon, was able to secure $1 million for them to help expand their programs to make college more affordable for our young people, which I thought was just amazing to have so many ideas. They're literally running courses. Some of these courses are now available without forcing the students to have to, buy books. They are able to get it without a cost to them personally. And they're trying to find ways to just make it more accessible as a whole. So I'm really excited about seeing how they're going to expand that program there. The other thing I am personally working to recruit for some people for some, I'm going to be doing some internship programs, really trying to work with young people on social, high school students really, and young adults here in our community who have been reaching out to me. I'd like to try to really sort of channel some of the things that we've been seeing happen in the community with some racial tensions that we've been seeing and things happening in our high schools, and trying to find a way for them to have an outlet to communicate those things and really be able to report back to us in some capacity. And then I'm also trying to work personally to find ways where we can create part of the housing programs that we've put out there. I know we have we put a lot of affordable housing for seniors. I also want to incorporate into that somehow, find a way for us to incorporate bringing affordable housing accessibility for people with disabilities who are also very often in need of that type of housing. So.
Okay. Any other final comments? Okay. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open up public comment regarding item 11, the interim city manager and city council member comments. Do we have anyone online that would like to address item 11?
Yes, we have one hand raised. Call in user 1.
Okay, calling user 1. You've got 3 minutes. Go ahead, please.
Hi, so I would like to share the address for the FEMA Disaster Recovery Center that is going to open up in Danville. The building address is 510 La Gonda, and the office hours are going to be 10 a.m. through 7 p.m. And they will be there tomorrow till March 1st. So I know that some of our senior community might have relatives in Danville. So if it might be a little bit closer for them, that is another option. I just want to say that recently, as a taxpayer and a public attendee, I'm very, very sad to say that I am witnessing my own government at every level becoming more and more communist by the day. And especially, I just want to say shame to the Biden administration, to Peter Buttigieg, who would not help those conservative residents in New Palestine, Ohio, who is
Can you
suffering.
keep your comments? Can you please keep your comments? Council member.
It is.
Comments?
It's all government. It's all government. So then I will circle back. So then that example, basically, they're not helping conservative residents and they're breathing toxic fume. And that tells me our government these days are so divided that they are willing to harm others who disagree with them. And I have serious concerns about council members who are using our youths. Basically, you are really out of your jurisdiction to, send certain young people that you choose to go into our school and do whatever you want. The proper way is to go through the school district. There is separate jurisdiction. If there's any concern, you should go to the school district and talk to them about it and then have them come and report to you. If you want to select your youth, to me, it is just like, it reminds me of the Red Guards in communist China during Cultural Revolution. You are setting these as spies to spy on their own peers. And then whatever they say may or may not be true. And then you can use that as an excuse to persecute other people who don't hold the same political beliefs as you. And I really, really am against that. So I would really like Councilmember Rubio to please disclose all the agents you're going to be sending to the school sites, because you are now willing to show a R-rated movie. I really don't have any faith in you that you are really interested in everyone's well-being, especially the city has repeatedly allowed the city executive clerk to
Please wrap up
harass
your comment.
and bully an attendee who is of Taiwanese descent and who has repeatedly asked for agenda packet, and she wouldn't do it. Also, please be mindful that in the language of Mandarin.
Thank you for your comments. We appreciate that. Do we have any other members from the public who wish to speak to
No.
this item? Okay, at this time, we will close public comments for item 11. We'll move on to item 12, public comment. If you've not previously spoken under public comment, which was item number 4 this evening, please use the raise your hand feature on Zoom or dial *9 on your telephone. When it's your turn to talk and we call upon your name, you will be allowed to speak for 3 minutes per person. The clock will be running on the Zoom screen. Speaker's microphone will be muted once the allotted time has expired. Do we have anyone wishing to speak under item number 12?
Yes, I have one hand raised from Vicky Gordon.
Vicky Gordon. Okay, Vicky, go ahead, please.
Good evening, San Ramon Council members. My name is Vicky Gordon, and I am with you tonight on behalf of the League of Women Voters. In the spirit of cooperation and good communications, they have assigned me some observation levels. I will be keeping my comments brief, and I will not be sharing very many opinions unless they are that of the League, and I have support from the League of Women Voters. But I did want to introduce myself this evening, say hello. It was a pleasure to be at your meeting this evening, and to let you know that I'll be here in a supporting role capacity. If you want to reach out to us or need any assistance in any way that the League of Women Voters can be, I'll be around and your liaison to help you in any ways we can with the things that fall under our own purview. But thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. We have any other members of the public?
No.
Okay, then at this time, I will close public comment, item 12. While we encourage your comments, unfortunately, state law prevents the city council from discussing items that are not on their meeting agenda. Do take them very seriously, however, and if appropriate, staff will follow up on them. All right, at this time, we're going to move towards closed session. I'd like to ask if anyone from the public would like to speak before the council adjourns to closed session on the closed session item, which is for regarding consideration of city manager succession. Do we have anyone wishing to speak to this item?
We have one hand raised from call-in user 1.
Okay, call-in user 1, go ahead.
Hi, I wish to speak regarding the succession of the city manager business, I am wondering if you are considering to officially hire the interim city manager. I just have one thing to say to him, that I was very disappointed that he was not able to intervene for the public attendee who had repeatedly asked for a complete public agenda at the policy committee meeting last time. And in the past, City Manager Gordon knew that our executive clerk is extremely special. You can really order her to do much about anything. So he went into the copy room and made copy for the public attendee. Yet this past meeting, the interim city manager told the public attendee to go talk to the city attorney instead. That is extremely intimidating to a public attendee when a city manager tells that person to go talk to the attorney, and all she wanted was just a complete agenda packet. For that, I'm extremely disappointed that our interim city manager perhaps is so anxious to gain the support of the city employees that he is willing to bully a public attendee instead. However, I don't know what other options you guys have. So I just want to say that even so, I still am willing to give the interim city manager another chance, because the devil we know is better than the devil we don't. However, it doesn't mean that I am very confident in his ability to lead. The least he could have done was to go by law and order. What is the position of the clerk supposed to do? The clerk should do. The public is there by their civil rights, and they have every right to have proper access to documentation, and that must be done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other comments?
No.
Okay, at this time, we're going to, council will adjourn to closed session. We will come back and reconvene open session at a time to be determined and report out. Council is reconvening back in open session and reporting out. The council has met in closed session to discuss city manager succession, and there's nothing to report at this time. And so with that, we'll move to adjournment. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for lighting up the city hall with red and all the lights and everything. It looks great.
Yeah.
All right, this meeting is adjourned.